Hi, YouTube. It's Erica from In the Company of Cards. Welcome. Welcome back. Um, so a couple of things. Let me just say that I got up early because I'm in California, of course. So I woke up early to watch there wasn't much to see, the sentencing. Um, as people, not many, but a couple of people felt called upon to tell me, in case I'm blind, deaf, and dumb, that you were wrong, meaning I was wrong, that in fact the Supreme Court did allow the sentencing to proceed. Yeah, I called it wrong, and I'm delighted that I called it wrong. Uh, Amy Coney Barrett and John Roberts were the ones who sided with the other women on the court. The usual suspects, were the ones who dissented. Uh, 45 feels comforted by the fact that he has the right to appeal the conviction. So, whatever. I mean, what he got was the conviction. That's it. No sentence, no house arrest, no fine, no nothing. So onward. Uh, I did want to mention another prediction that I made, which was about the TikTok ban and the Supreme Court. And I said that I saw the Supreme Court allowing the ban to stand. So it looks like as of whatever the date, it's very soon, I know, TikTok will be banned. I know that there are a couple of American oligarchy kind of millionaire, billionaire types who wanted to buy it. The thing is, of course, you can't buy something if it's not for sale, and it's not for sale. So, you know, if you're on TikTok, get your fill of it because who knows whether you'll be able to access it moving forward because the Supreme Court, as I predicted, has said, yeah, we're not getting into this. That ban can stand. All right. Now, the next thing I want to do before I look at some other sort of events common to all of us is I want to tell you a story. So, okay, yesterday I went to the grocery store and I had a shopping cart. And don't do what I did. I put my bag, which was small, little purse, in the little carrier part where if I had a kid that age, that's where I would put them. And I rode my cart around the store and I pulled out my wallet, uh, moving my phone to the side. I pulled my wallet out to pay for my purchases, which I did. And then I came out, went to the car, and there, like a good citizen, I didn't just leave the cart there after I put my groceries in the car. I sort of diligently replaced the cart in the place where you're supposed to put the carts. It's outside, in the parking lot, and proceeded on my way home. It was not until I got home that I realized I didn't have my bag. It was still sitting in that little child seat. Immediately, I called the store and asked if the bag had been turned in. They said no. And I said, well, could you go check? And they went out and they checked and they said yes, that they had found the bag. Look at God, as my mother-in-law would have said. Drive back to the store and they had my bag. And I look in my bag and there's my wallet. And I look in my wallet and there's all my stuff. I had cash in there, I had cards, licenses, all that stuff in there. But guess what wasn't there? My phone. So I said to the lady who had found it in the, uh, where I had left it, where's the phone? She goes, there was no phone. And I'm like, what? So I came home and thought, well, maybe there wasn't a phone. Maybe I left my phone at home. Came home, tore the house up, No phone, because I did not leave the phone at home. The phone accompanied the wallet on the ride to the store. It just never made it back. So I, of course, called my carrier and had the phone stopped, unhooked, disconnected, whatever. And and then I went to the store and I bought myself a new top of the line phone because, why not? But here's the point. Before I bought myself that top of the line phone, after I had torn my house up, I said, wait a minute. I read cards. Lenormand, in case you didn't know, is actually very good at locating lost objects. I had never used it to do that, but uh, you know, prior to me showing people how deep and rich that oracle really is and that it can answer any question, a lot of people really did think that it was sort of relegated to finding things like your lost keys, or in my case, your lost phone. So in the middle of tearing up the house, I said, well, let me ask my cards. And these are the cards that I pulled: the book, the bouquet, and the house. Okay? Book, bouquet, house. This said to me, some kind of way, which I can't, sorry, I have this new phone, and so whatever. Anyway, some kind of way to which I am not privy, because this is about things that you don't know. I will be given a gift and my phone will be returned to me. So I see the cards and I'm like, okay, you know what? Y'all don't know what you're talking about. That's not funny. Don't mess with me. Don't play with me. I'm asking you where it is. I'm not asking to be told a fairy tale, some kind of way that you don't know yet. You will be given this gift of the phone returning home to you. I was mad. I didn't even pull more cards. I just said, let me just put these cards away and go to the store and buy a new phone. So I go to the store, buy a new phone, sitting minding my business, and my partner gets a message on their phone. The message, she shows me the phone. The phone says, well, it's a picture of me and with the contact information for my partner. And the person said, I found this phone. And I'm going to be in your area. Um, so, let's meet and return it so I can return it to you. So my partner was like, well, where was it again? In the parking lot of the store that I was in the area of the parking lot, they said. So I'm like, what criminal finds a bag with a wallet full of stuff in it and doesn't take the bag, but just selectively plucks the phone out? All right. So then I was going to go, meet this person to get the bag. And so they said, I'll be in uh, a white panel truck. Here's what I thought. Oh, this may be my last day on Earth because not only does the person have my phone, I'm gonna go to this designated rendezvous point, and they're gonna throw me in the white panel truck, and that'll be it. I'll be held for ransom. Nobody will pay it, and that'll be the end of that. That's what I thought. So, sure enough, I get up this morning and the location has been changed to a different location and 2 hours earlier. So I had to throw myself together, go to the place, and there's a guy, young Hispanic man, not by his truck. He had moved away from the truck. He was outside of his truck, holding the phone so that I could see it, with just the sweetest smile on his face. And he said, "Here it is. I'm so glad that that this worked out." And I mean, I had money to give him, and I offered him money. No, 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 no. And I said, "You know what? Please buy yourself lunch because this is amazing. Thank you so much." And so he took the money and went on his way. But here's the point. In a way that I could never have anticipated or expected, I was gifted by this stranger. He did not steal my phone. He's the one who found my phone and returned it back to me. Look at God. So I say this to say that cards are amazing, but that our energy is the energy that is working with the cards, right? And sometimes we're fallible, and sometimes we don't trust what we see, and sometimes we see what we want to see instead of what we're being shown. And so for people who are asking, how come some readers are saying one thing and some readers are saying another? I would say that I'm just going to say that everybody has their own relationship to spirit, their own relationship to the modality that they use to connect with spirit, in this case, cards. And I can't speak to what other people do. I just know what I do. And this was a very good lesson for me, actually, to trust what I see. Now, I just want to say this in the Supreme Court reading that I got wrong. I saw there was a woman in that spread and there was a bouquet. And I remember saying something like, I can't tell, is this good news for our side or is this good news for 45 side? In retrospect, because it's always good to go back and look and see what you did. In retrospect, I think it was obviously good news for our side that Comey Barrett gave the gift of being with the majority, as did Roberts, but Comey Barrett, we needed her as well. And that's why the sentencing, for whatever it was worth, went forward. And when I said I couldn't tell whose side is this, you know what I did? I kind of tossed a coin in my head and decided that the gift would be for 45, and I was wrong. So, people are fallible, not infallible, right? And also for all readers, I mean, you should just understand that all of us who do this work here are doing these readings in the moment, with you all watching. So we don't have time to pause and ponder. Could it mean this? Could it mean that? Could it mean this? Could it mean that? Because nobody's got time for that, including you, the viewer. So we do the best we can with the information that we have. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. It is what it is. So relax, okay? And thank you so much for being here and for all of your kind words to me about my work. So that was wild. Anyway, now I have two phones, but I know someone who needs a phone, and I paid off the one that I thought was lost. So I'm going to give that person a nice kind of new phone, and I have an even newer one. And so all things work together for good. Okay. Um, Here's a question that I'd like to look at. I'd like to look at it because I've seen a lot of speculation online about this. So, as I mentioned, I'm in California. I am not currently affected by these fires. I do have friends who live north of me. I'm quite south, but who live north and who have been evacuated and are dealing with all of this. And it's terrible. It's awful. Um, and I've been interested to hear some of the talk around this. So, for example, part of where these fires are is in the area where there are a lot of high-end homes of famous people, which have been destroyed. And so the speculation online, and it could be conspiracy theories, is that these fires are not uh, natural. In other words, that they are a result of arson, and that it could be the far left doing it, it could be the far right doing it, but it's part of this sort of uh, Pluto and Aquarius energy of everything being upended. I might look at that whole issue again at some point, but um, what I want to look at is the fires. And I just want to know, there's speculation that it's super organized, that it is, men and women, um, that everything is strategically decided as to where these fires will be set, and that I've even heard speculation that there is foreign help with the mechanics of it, with, I don't know, supplies or something. I don't know. So let's look at these fires. I'm trying to think what card I want to use. Oh, I'll use the sun, right? The sun is the best card in the deck, but as I always like to remind you, light and heat is all well and good unless it's too much. And so in the case of fire, that is too much light and too much heat. So we're going to use the sun, and I just want to look at the energy around that situation, the fire situation, and see what it tells us. Okay. And remember, we're looking for the sun, and that will stand for these fires that are happening in Southern California. Okay, so here's the sun. Okay, so we have the heart, we have the tower, we have the sun, we have the younger woman, and we have the ring. Um, Nothing to me there speaks of arson, but I'll pull some clarifiers and we'll see what we get. But you can watch while I do that. Okay, so with the heart and the tower and the sun, young woman, and the ring. I mean, the heart is what we love, right? Um, a lot of the buildings that have gone down have been people's homes, not just the wealthy, by the way. A lot of people have been hurt by this. Just regular, average people have lost everything. So the things that they've lost to this fire. Now, I will say that this energy doesn't feel aggressive or assertive because it's yin energy. Um, and we have this ring. I mean, here's the thing. This is cyclical, right? I mean, I've lived in Southern California for a little bit now, and we have we live for the winter, because in the winter, that's when we get rain. We don't get rain the rest of the year. It just doesn't rain here. That song, "It Never Rains in Southern California." Okay, it's true. And so here we are in supposedly our wettest season, and yet no rain. We had a little bit of rain on Christmas Eve, drizzle that felt like a gift from the gods, but that was it. And so this is a cycle. This is what happens when we have a very dry period. This is what happens. We wildfires start. You can see them just start on the edge of the road sometimes. Um, so this is, um, I'm going to say, just from the five, I'm going to say the five cards, that this is just a natural phenomenon. Is it a consequence of global warming? Of course, yes, yes. But do the five cards here tell me that this is arson? No. But remember, there's more than one fire. And there's that whole copycat thing that can go on. In other words, oh, so look, these wildfires are starting because it's dry, but we could be strategic and we could use this and we can set more fires. And who's going to know whether it's us or whether it's Mother Nature? I mean, that could be the case. I don't know. So let's look at the clarifiers. So we have the heart. This is the places that people love, right? Their homes. Um, Star, whip, and key. Okay. So the places that people love, their homes, the area, because it's a beautiful area where these, is affected adversely. I mean, this is tough energy, this whip. It's painful and it's repetitive and it's over and over. Just when you think the fires are out, they start up somewhere else. And so the key is to figure this out. Okay. Now, I will say the cards take a little detour from the question to look at 45. So we have the tower, and this is people's homes, all buildings. It's also government. And so we have the snake, we have 45, and we have the tree. I don't know if you've kept up with this, but 45's been saying a lot of disgusting things about our governor. Uh, and he has in the past talked about the fact that he will not help us if we find ourselves overrun with wildfires. He won't help because California didn't vote for him, so why should he help California, etc. So I do think that this is an opportunity for him to do bad stuff, to say bad stuff. Um, And then we have this tree here, which is the health card, the health of that area, those areas that are being affected. And right in the middle, we've got 45 going, nah, 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 we're not going to give you whatever. Okay, so, he's just a little a distraction, an unpleasant distraction during people's time of need and time of anxiety and worry and stress, etc. Now, here we have right in the middle, because I put it there, the sun. This stands for the fires. Clarifiers are the garden, the fox, and the book. Okay, I don't love this, I have to say. I don't love this. This is the fires. They are widespread, right? They're laying waste to communities, but this is the part that I don't like. Remember I said that there's speculation about foreign actors helping this? Well, that's the card for that. This is the card for deceit, treachery. Sadly, too, it's also the card for foreigners that we don't know about. So, as I said, a lot of these fires they're just naturally occurring because of dryness, in the climate and climate change, etc. But that may not be the case for all of them. There could be fires that were set by uh, by entities that were opportunistic. What the proportion of that is, I don't know, but I think it is a ratio. There's some that are naturally occurring. There's some that may very well have been set. Um, We have this young woman, and then the clarifiers for her are dog, house, and mountain. So, this is sort of feeling helpless. This is people coming from all over the place to help. Um, Again, this is, the house is where people live. And I guess the question is, you know, does one rebuild there, right? I mean, does one rebuild if this is an area that is, if these are areas that are going to be increasingly prone to these kinds of disasters? So that's being reassessed as well. Kind of like how people talked about New Orleans, should New Orleans be rebuilt if if it's prone to flooding? Are we just going to have to go through this again and again and again? So that's being talked about. And then we have the ring, and it's clarified by the lily, the cross, and crossroads. I just think that because this is now another opportunity to talk conspiracy theory, this is another opportunity to upset our peace. It will be taken advantage of. Uh, Now, I can mirror the heart with this last card, which is the crossroads. Hmm. Crossroads is about choices. So people may say, do we rebuild? Do we stay there? What do we do? So now, in answer to the question, because the question that I asked was, are these fires arson? I'm going to say, I'm not going to rule out that some of them are. I don't think all of them are. I mean, I know what it's like here. It's very dry, and we are very prone to this kind of thing. But are there actors who have taken the opportunity to, um, you know, set fires in places where there might otherwise not have been those fires? Possibly. I see that in that center line, especially with these two cards. I don't love that. In the fullness of time, we will discover it. It'll be revealed. I just think I wouldn't throw out the possibility, but and I can't give you a percentage of how much is one thing and how much is the other. I don't know. Um, I just know that this has upended a lot of people's lives. I will say that it is being responded to in an interesting way, not unlike the response to that United Health executive uh, killing. People are saying, well, for example, you're hearing of people who are very wealthy who are wanting to hire fire departments to come to their personal homes and put their fires out. Well, that obviously, I mean, that's a little tone deaf. I mean, obviously, nobody wants your house to be on fire, but you're going to bribe um, fire people to come off the line, the firefighting line, to come over and help you for a price, put your fire out. There's not a lot of sympathy for that. There's not a lot of sympathy for people who, for example, have these huge homes and lose them, which is terrible, but who also have the insurance to rebuild. Relative to someone who has nothing, no insurance, that their house wasn't paid for in the first place, who now is left sort of in a difficult situation. So, are the wildfires a message? I will say this, certainly they're a message from the universe about climate change. There's that. Are they a message from a rightist or leftist group? Uh, I, there's always the possibility for there to be copycats. I'm going to say that I don't think that that's where it started at all, but copycats are out there and they're saying, oh, let's jump on this bandwagon. Why not set some fires and people won't know who it is, but meanwhile we'll have stuck it to the man. I don't know. But I think there could be some of that happens. Okay. Um, I will tell you that moving forward, I have a question I was going to look at with 45. But like there are other readers who've also taken this stance. I am not going to, in this next year, next 4 years, if you're nice enough to have me that long, I am not going to keep track of every little thing that this man does. If there are big things that I need to address with the cards, I will do that. If there are questions that you ask me to look at regarding him, I will look at those. But I'm not going to be, this is not going to be 45, 24/7, 365. That's not what this is going to be. There are other things going on in the world, and uh, I don't want this to be the 45 show. Uh, I will say that in terms of his uh, intention, stated intention, that he would end the war between Russia and Ukraine on day one of his inauguration, of his administration. I don't think that's going to happen. We know that's not going to happen. A meeting that was scheduled has been postponed or canceled. Ukraine has said we will be the ones to decide the time and the place for any meetings to happen. So let's look at 45 just in terms um, of the war with between Russia and Ukraine. Um, will he be able to affect any improvement in that situation? We'll be nice on month one. Month one. Okay. So we're going to look for him, and we're looking at him in terms of being a peace broker in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. So here he is. Okay. And I always say that the rule, and I didn't make this up, this is a sort of a traditional classic rule for Lenormand. When a line begins with the cross, the question is a non-starter. So the cards we have are the cross, the fish, 45, the younger man, and then the birds. So I can mirror this card with that last card, the birds. And this is literally what I just said. This is Zelensky's putting a stop to what 45 is saying. In other words, no, you're not going to tell us when and where to show up and what to talk about and what to decide on and what to agree on. No, that's not going to happen. There will be no talks. There will be no talks until we say there'll be talks, says Ukraine. So it's a non-starter. He will not be the peace broker that you would like to think that he is. And I mean, we know he's not a peace broker because he's trying to declare war with Denmark, for God's sake, and Panama. So, yeah, so much for people thinking that he would be the peace president, the isolationist president. Apparently not. Um, and then I just want to do one quick look at Musk, who is just digging his grave all over the place. Um, with England, with Germany, uh, he's interfering in world affairs, I think to a really dangerous degree. And when I say dangerous, I mean dangerous for him, for him. So I'm going to look for Musk and I'm going to use the young man card. I know he's not young. I understand that. For those of you who are getting ready to say, he's in his 50s. Okay, I understand that. But he also has that um, energy of someone who is rash and just blurts out whatever comes to his mind in the way that young, impetuous men can be. So I get that he's not young. I am using this for his energy. And I want to see, is he safe? Or will someone take him off the stage? Because it's not just the US stage, right? It's the world stage that he is trying to become this main player in. And I don't think people like it. So let's just look for Musk. Again, I'm going to look for the young man to portray his energy. Try to keep the cards from turning upside down. Okay, so this will be Musk. Two cards before him, two cards after him. And I am going to pull some clarifiers because we have the ring, the moon, there's Musk, the young woman, and Clover. Okay, so the ring is our first card. He cannot help himself. He just talk about setting fires. He loves to cause trouble. When he's done over here, he goes over here, and then he goes over here because he thinks the world is his. This is the world is his to do what he wants with. This is about reputation, but it's also your understanding of yourself. He is the center of his own world, and he thinks that he should be the center of everybody else's too. Here he is. I think he will be defanged and declawed. That energy gets changed to this energy, and I don't think it will take very long. I think it'll happen soon. He's gone a little too far. So let's look at the clarifier. So here's our ring. Clarifiers are book, sun, coffin. Okay. So here he is doing his dirt, doing his dirt, doing his dirt over and over and over, all over the world. Um, Here's what he doesn't know. The world is on to him, and the world will end him one way or the other. He will cross the wrong person and end up, I don't know, in front of the Hague, uh, in a box, exploded over some ocean, the way Putin likes to do things, poisoned. I think he will not be able to use the world as his playground for too much longer. Okay, so here's the moon, and we have tower, whip, and fox. So, again, this is him saying, I'm all that. I can do whatever I want. These are other government, not just other governments. I suspect 45 will be sick of him too, but governments around the world feeling besieged by this guy and saying, what can we do? How can we, will no one, well, what is it? What is that? Shakespeare? Shakespeare. Will no one rid me of this meddlesome priest? I think it's Beckett. Will no one rid me of this meddlesome priest? I think that there will be a way found to rid ourselves of this meddlesome priest. Okay, here he is, and we have birds, cross, and crossroads. Again, so this is him with that brash energy being talked about, being discussed. What are they discussing? How to how to put an end to him. Do we deport him? What do we do? But they're taught that's the conversation. And they're looking at all of the alternative ways that he can be thwarted. He is the wealthiest man in the world, and in this world, money talks. But is there a way around that? Because they want to end this. Okay, here he is being defanged, being blocked. Now, we have this woman and we have this bear. And I'm going to say that this feels to me more like um, could be a woman. You know, there, what is her name? Avril, I forget what. But there are people more powerful than he that can defang, de-talon, and sort of take him on in a way that makes him persona non grata, except in his own country. And I hear tell even his own country doesn't want him back, South Africa. Now, this card, this line feels very much not him, but it feels like the rest of us who have been just abused by this guy, Musk. So Clover, I think it's going to happen soon that he meets his not his maker, but he meets justice in some way. So things will get better for the rest of the world moving forward into the future, and this is all of us. So yeah, I think Musk is overplaying his hand a lot. Um, and I don't think it will end well for him. I think there are too many actors who are not happy with his interference in their affairs. Uh, and of course, one of those actors I suspect is 45. Okay. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to look at right now. I I think not. So again, what I've said is that the fires, some of them could be copycat arson type fires, but I think it started out as just wildfires because, you know, we don't have water here. It's very dry. We don't have rain. So I think I don't even know the proportion, but it wouldn't surprise me to find that there were some bad actors saying, oh, well, let's start a fire here. And, we won't get blamed for it. There will be no peace forged by 45 between Russia and Ukraine in his first day, in his first week, in his first month. He will not be the forger of that peace, let me just say. I don't think Russia wants him involved in this any more than Ukraine does. You know, he wants to get the Nobel Prize, but yeah, no. And then Musk, I see Musk having overplayed his hand. So I will see you all soon. I do have a Sunday conversation coming up that I'm going to film later today. So look for that on Sunday. And I'll see you very soon. Take care.